here we are. I go to oh, something's going on. Interesting. Okay. And for those who are watching right now, we're on Facebook or one of these streams. I think on YouTube. Just got a little message from Facebook saying one of these sources I'm providing is unacceptable. But let's take a look. Let's see which source are they saying. Info for Haiti. Where do I have info for Haiti? That's interesting. Info for Haiti. I don't have any info for Haiti. Good morning, folks. Haiti Biz News here. Good morning. Give me a second. We're trying to troubleshoot something on our side. I don't have no info for Haiti here. That is bizarre. Maybe it's this one because I usually don't use these guys. All right. Okay, let's try that. Save that change. Let's try to go live again. Ain't that something? All right, let's remove all the article links. Let's move them all from Facebook to description. Article links. Boom, let's try that. Delete all the article links. Okay, we are live. That was interesting. I was trying to, because what we do here, we multi-stream on multiple platforms, and Facebook said one of my links, I do the article links underneath one of the article links. Facebook wasn't feeling info for Haiti, even though we didn't even have info for Haiti down there, which is interesting. But in any case, good morning, bonjour, happy Father's Day to people. Happy Father's Day to a lot of folks coming in. For those fathers who are, fathers are underappreciated, unfortunately, in our society. Moms get a lot of the credit, which is earned for sure, but in a society where too many of us grow up fatherless, it's important to appreciate those who did step up to responsibility. Many do, but it is about changing that narrative on all fronts and all sides, because when you look at the numbers and look at the stats, it's not as prevalent as those like to say, particularly in the Black community, right? So, but nonetheless, happy Father's Day. It's always a pleasure to be here one more week to talk what's going on in the country and be a part of that change and help others be a part of that change, as we know, as we are better informed, as we have much more information from a return on information perspective. We're here every Sunday talking Haiti, right? 11 a.m. ish. I say add that ish because things happen. And plus, just in case you guys think I was Haitian, our times can vary sometimes depending on what I got going on my side, right? We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and I got something funny I got going on Instagram, my lips. But, that's for Instagram folks. Why not? Do a little something, play with the filters, and make Instagram a little interesting, right? As always, all everything's right on air, so please drop comments. I want to shout out everybody who's dropping comments right now. Good morning to everyone. A quick shout out: Canal David, Bus Rider FC, Peter Lucien, Lawrence Gonzalez. So as always, has a fantastic Instagram presence, helping folks with their personal finance, and improving their lot. I think you change it up. He's the neighborhood guy now. It's what it's called, the neighborhood guy, right? So do check that out, Lawrence, if you want to drop your new IG handle. Negmaon, good morning. Good to see you. A lot of folks in the chat. Happy to see a lot of I don't want to call them the usuals. Happy to see you guys here in the chat for sure. So of course, SeeJeanty, YouTube SeeJeanty, for those who may be coming in, maybe straggling in, first time you're seeing the l'émission, SeeJeanty, YouTube SeeJeanty. We got a lot of content on there. What we like to do is we like to go on different aspects of what's going on in the country. We like to go and we like to show not only businesses, which is really what I love to do, but we also like to go to, I got something in there, Fort Jacques, for example, and we got Ilarat, for example, a lot of very interesting, cool spots that we've had a chance to go to over the 2-ish years now we've been featuring. So if you haven't seen that content yet, make sure YouTube SeeJeanty. As soon as you open the page, you'll see a lot of different playlists, from droning, from driving in the country, from walking in the country as well. So however you want that content, we got it for you. So make it a point to go and check that out, right? As always, the podcast, oh my goodness, we have such an incredible, important conversation we had last time, me and Mark. We like doing these episodes where it's just him and I, where we just talk about what's going on as it relates to Haiti, as it relates to the world. And this time we had to really get into police brutality, BLM. I said some controversial things, man. I had some people reach out to me, Chris, man. I ain't agree with you, right? I got on my Jimmy Toussaint. Those who know. You know what I mean? And so again, I think it's important that we have these sort of conversations, and I do welcome any feedback, any different views. I had a few folks again reach out to me in DMs, say, "Hey man, this is how I felt." And we continue the conversation there in the chats, however you want to. And so do check out the podcast. Next podcast is going to be real special. The one we're going to drop this Thursday, we're going to be featuring Marie from Life in Haiti, and it's an incredible conversation as a deportee, someone who it's a part of the segment of the population in Haiti that is ignored, right? And that's wrong. That's not how we roll here, and we need to engage, especially when there's so. I mean, look, just last week there were 75 plus deportees from the Bahamas that came back, right? So we got to talk about such an important segment of the population. A lot of them are doing some great work, Maya included. And so this podcast that's coming up, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube SeeJeanty and or subscribe to any of the places we drop that podcast, from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Make sure you're connected. Because again, because we're not in Haiti right now, doesn't mean we're not pushing the narrative, pushing the conversation, pushing opportunities for folks who once this little blip of COVID's out the way, we'll be right back to business, right? And of course, I gotta give folks a little shout out. Again, you guys have been so incredible over the past few weeks. I'm Monday, no. I'm just here. I'm just a guy who just likes to keep staying on the pulse of what's going on in Haiti, and very much, it's a thing. I was listening to Damon Dash just yesterday, and you guys if you can do what you do for free, and you get a little compensation for it, great. But the secret to life is finding out what you enjoy doing so much you do for free, right? And when it comes to helping other folks stay informed about Haiti, I do that for free. I don't, but for those who do want to chip in, those who do like and appreciate the content, for those who like to add to the war chest, because what's going to allow me, once I get back to Haiti, to go to these places like Jacmel and what's that waterfall? The waterfall over up in the Central Plateau, excuse me. But a lot of these very exotic places, Ila Vache, I haven't been there yet, right? A lot of these exotic places will be income, will be some revenue, some support, because it's not just me. That's just me with, as you see on my content. It's not just me with a camera. I have a team behind me, Haitians, who make up Hyper Media, and just make sure when we go out of town, hotels, food, all that stuff. So when you guys do contribute, again, it's a set aside, it's added to the war chest, so we can do stuff. So without further ado, I'm gonna drop the info down there. Is the Cash App. Had a few folks last week who provided, and so I want to shout them out for sure. Much appreciated. We have Lucien Musari, right? We have Lionel Pierre, certainly appreciate you. We had Michael Ange, for sure, definitely appreciate it. And so however you want to provide, I know folks we're giving it through the YouTube chat. and that's fine. But if you can give it through the Square Cash, if you're so inclined, it's a little better because we get it right away. The very next day we get it, and we're able to put it aside. When you give it through YouTube, it takes a little bit. It takes almost a month because you only take it out once a month, and I think YouTube takes a piece out of it as well. So just FYI. But however you contribute, it's appreciated. It's thanked. You're thanked. And those again, but those who don't want to, money's tight. COVID, I get it, right? And those who aren't so inclined, here's a thing you can do that's equal value, right? Equal value. That is share the stream, right? Share it. There's a lot of Haitians living in Florida, 10,000 Haitians in New York. A lot of these groups that are Haiti focused, and a lot of those in those groups could appreciate having someone like myself inform them on what is going on in the country. So those who are in different groups, make sure to share this stream in there, right? Share it on your channel, on your personal profile. Share it on some WhatsApp groups. Share it. And just start a watch party. That's another thing. Start that. However you want to, but let's increase the return on information, right? And the best part about sharing the stream, it's free. It's free. You press a button, forget about it. Hit that little share button, and you forget about it, right? But yet you're impacting by bringing more folks in and allowing a much better conversation to take place. Because at the end of the day, the more folks we have contributors, I'm reading on comments on air, the better valued stream this is going to be. All right. So let's say what's up to a lot of folks in the chats. Let me officially read the comments here. Certainly can all waving back at you, brother. Bus rider, man, good morning. Yeah, certainly happy Father's Day. FC bonjour et ça va, right? Peterson Lucian says, big brother, we are back at it again. That's right. Thank you, man. Good morning. Supporting all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Is Tucson Liberty will be open. We're going to be talking about that for sure. But the short answer is we don't really know. It's not really open. But I think officially we should get some formal information about it opening with 100% clarity by the end of this week. But again, we'll talk about the details on that. Canal David, yeah, certainly happy Father's Day. Lauren says he's going to start a watch party. All right. Thanks, brother. Certainly appreciate it. Negma Wong, good morning. Vivi and Rachel. All right. What type of businesses you do in Haiti? We do quite a bit. From staffing, from outsourcing, right? We do quite a bit, and we're going to be getting into real estate and export-based distribution. The goal, of course, is to start doing that this year, but next year, I think it's probably it. Given how COVID has slowed things down, right? But thanks for asking. We got Mike and Dale. Good morning, brother. Good to see you. We got Bounce Bushy. Good morning. Good to see you too. Highly favored. That's right. Thank you. Thanks for wishing me good wishes for being back on. Loves what I'm doing, and love that you're showing up and watching. So certainly appreciate it. Mrs. Grace saying good morning here. Mari here because of Mari life in Haiti. That is awesome. As I mentioned, Mari is going to have she was on the podcast, and so she certainly has an incredible story she's going to be able to share with you guys. In fact, I told him I want to do something I never really do is we're going to give Mari the episode so Mari can repost it on her channel because her story is so important. What she provided in context here, her own audience needs to make sure they listen to it. And so to make sure that happens, Mari's going to get that episode directly so she can upload on her channel. So Ms. Grace, you're in for a real good treat. It's going to drop Thursday. So hopefully Mari can turn around and upload it the same day. We'll see. Franz Camille, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you, man. Thank you. The content will keep on coming. Edwin, I think I already got you. Edwin, Mike and Dell. Yes. I don't think it's spelled like that. Sordeo. I don't think it's Sordeo, but something's Deo for sure. I don't think it's sure. Something else. Like Santeo or something like that. Lionel Pierre, hey man, again, much appreciate you see your name below. Certainly appreciate the addition to the war chest. Certainly appreciate it, and it will be used wisely. Thank you, Lionel. Dorothy Jean, good morning. This is the first time live. Fantastic. Hope to see you again from Houston. Awesome. We're here 11 a.m. every day. Hope to see you. Fitness, travel, and life. Right, life in Haiti brought. Okay, life in Haiti brought fitness and travel life here too. Again, we're here every Sunday, 11 a.m., talking news, talking, and we're looking to actually, however you want to contribute to the conversation. Don't be a stranger. Drop it in the chat. Gardens Pierre, good morning from Fort Lauderdale. We're going well. We're doing well. Got a great show upcoming. Thank you. David Bassett, what is up? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Mrs. Grace, SeeJeanty, you travel to Jamaica or Florida. So when I am in America, I live in Haiti again, but when I'm in America, like I am forced now because of COVID, I'm in South Florida. So that answers your question. And in Jamaica, I've never been to Jamaica, but it's on a to-do list, right? I do want to at some point visit the motherland of Bob Marley, right? And make my own. That's right. Sodeo. Voila. Sodeo. That's what it is. Sodeo. That's the place that's high on the list of places I want to go. And let's check out what's going on Instagram. A lot of folks, and waving to a lot of folks. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Let's take a look. Let's scroll down. Okay, the neighborhood finance guy is what it is. The neighborhood finance guy is what Lawrence is going by. Giving back to the community through financial literacy, education. Let's get that pain, right? What is it? Your Instagram got a big lip. I know that's the point. I want that to happen, right? I always try to do a little something on the Instagram just to make it a little more entertaining for folks who oddly decide to do it, to watch it through here instead of Instagram or Facebook, where it's a little more streamlined, a little easier. Plus, every hour I'm gonna have to reboot this thing. But in any case, I'll give access. That's important, giving folks access. So let's get into the headlines. Lots to talk about today, right? Let's get into the headlines, right? So of course we're gonna be talking about COVID. We've got the COVID numbers. Of course, it's as ominous as it has been, even as last week. We're at some pretty high numbers. We're going to talk about that. Haitian return, right? We have a lot of different things happening, right? We got to talk about the Haitian national return, like a lot of information on that aspect, i.e., airports opening, things like that. So we're gonna talk about that. King Moise has really been stretching out his pen finger. Whew, he's been busy, right? We're going to talk about that. We have additionally some more information about deported numbers. Definitely going to be talking about that. Education has a little bit of update. They're changing and implementing some promises they said they were going to. We're going to talk about that. Aid international. We have some international bodies who've been given to the Haitian government to help out with COVID. We're going to talk about that. Oil shortage. I'm sure if you guys have any family in Haiti, guys have been on the pulse of this oil shortage in Haiti. We're going to talk about what we were hearing officially to why it's happening, where we're at. BRH, Central Bank of Haiti, money market news. There's been some stats provided. We're going to talk about that. But most importantly, there's been some decrees from them, I guess you can say decrees, that were expressed, but then immediately turned back. Anyways, we're going to talk about that. And of course, the good, oh man, the good has been devalued and depreciating so much. That's going to be talked about too in that news story. We have a quarry closure. So we got to talk about that. Constitutional Assembly, right back to King Moise, right? He's instituting something that may have to actually group that in with the King Moise talk. We'll see. And in the digital library, there's something really cool. Digital library. There's right now ebooks, Haitian authors, ebooks. Folks can download from the comfort of their computer. So we're going to be talking about that as well, right? So those are the headlines. Have some important information. We'll be partaging, as they say. And so do stay tuned. Don't change that dial. Don't change that dial, right? And of course, as always, those who are watching right now, share the stream. And if it's your first time on YouTube or Facebook, hit that big blue button that says follow on Facebook, big red button that says subscribe on YouTube. All right. Watt Mini, what is up? Good to see you. Certainly happy to have an important contributor in the chat this morning. Certainly good to see you. Let's take a little quick sip of water and we're going to jump into the news. Sip of water complete. All right. So COVID-19. Let's talk about the numbers. 4,869 active cases, right? 87 deaths, mama, and just 24 healed. That's where we're at in Haiti. The day before, we only had about 80 plus new positive cases. The day before that, we had over 280 positive cases, right? And so that's kind of where the numbers have been. The past week, we've been pushing numbers around 200-ish plus per day on average, which is certainly troubling. I suspected that at least another 5,000 people may have it, which is just haven't been tested. And so the real numbers may be as high as 10,000. There was an interesting article, and I don't really want to report it necessarily, but there's an interesting piece from a reputable source that said MSP is considering that to make from now until the state of emergency, health emergency is lifted, to have every single death count as a COVID death, which is, again, whether or not the person's been tested or not, to say, hey, any death that happens right now in the territory is to be considered a COVID death, which we know that Haiti has a very terrible problem of reporting. I have sources who are in morbid industries, meaning cemetery, coffin making, and they're telling me stuff like, what they make in a month, they're making in a week, right? The cemeteries, that what they usually dig for an entire month, they've made up in just the first few days in terms of bodies coming in, right? And so certainly there is a massive ramp up in deaths that are happening, and a lot of these deaths aren't being reported, right? So we get that, right? But just to then say on the other side and blanket say any death is COVID, I think that feels irresponsible. And certainly we hope that MSAP, of course, Ministry of Santé Publique, Health Department of Haiti, doesn't go that route. So we just need to do a better job of reporting those people who are dying, right? And getting more resources to get those stats, right? But to very lazily say any death, I think that's a dangerous direction as well, right? So we'll hope that doesn't become policy, right? We'll keep an eye on that. And Dominican Republic, we always have to mention the DR numbers because we share the island, and whatever happens there has real implications for Haiti. Because again, all it takes, even right now, with the fact that a lot of us Haitians can't fly to Haiti right now, when it comes to DR, you can just walk across the border. There is no fence, or there's folks who wake up on the Haitian side, say I'm about Espanol, and then walk over, do some shopping, and then walk right back, right? And so it's important to know the state and conditions in DR. We got 9,816 cases, right? 647 deaths, and about 14,605 healed, right? And their numbers have still stayed consistently high in terms of new cases. But yet they feel that they are eyeing to reopen as well in July. And whenever DR opens, Haiti will open. I'm talking about airplanes coming in, because the pressures, the economic pressures of this there's a reason why in every country we're talking about reopening, despite the fact that, for example, in Florida, we've had a record amount of cases, 4,200 new cases as well, and it's been very difficult for a lot of people, right? And part of it's because a lot of folks have decided that they're not going to heed advice and are not heeding the guidelines, they're not wearing masks, they're going out, they're not washing their hands, they're in public spaces, and it's a very interesting time. Of course, with protests happening, we do expect certainly a spike in numbers, not this week, next week for sure, with such massive groupings of people previously, right? So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Those are the COVID cases. Those are the COVID numbers. Again, 4,169 cases in Haiti, 87 deaths, 24 healed, and fingers crossed on this getting under control. Because as it stands right now, after Dominican Republic, Haiti has the most cases in the Caribbean. After that, like the next case is maybe Cuba with a few hundred of positive cases, and everyone else in the Caribbean, I think Bahamas too, is at a few hundred positive cases. And everyone else in the Caribbean is at like 20, is at like 10, is at like nothing, right? And so that is, Haiti is set to become a trouble spot if things do not reverse course, folks do not take things serious. And as always, I always ask you guys, if you have any family in Haiti, any friends in Haiti, become that be that nagging wife. Just nag and say, hey, are you wearing your mask? Are you washing your hands? Are you doing what you need to? Are you taking this serious? Because it's a serious thing right now, and protect yourself, right? Become that nagging wife, okay? And keep your friends and family safe by making sure you contact them and constantly remind them to do the right thing, okay? So let's talk about a very important aspect of this, right? A very important aspect of this, which is a lot of folks, the number one question I get is, hey, SeeJeanty, what's going on, right? Okay, let me make sure, let's take a step back. Mrs. Grace here on YouTube says, Jamaica's open since last week. Floridians head to the beach. Ms. Grace, now you have to clear up. When you say open, are flights coming in? Can people fly in? People go to the resorts, sort of resume normal activity, right? So what do you mean when you say open? Is it a close? Is it a gradual open, or is it completely open? Let us know. So, but on that same vein, there's been confusing news as it comes to return to Haiti, right? So I believe, what was it? On Friday, the Foreign Affairs Minister came out and said, hey, here are the policies for Haitian national to return. They said, hey, make photocopies of your passport, make sure to have a negative COVID documentation, and send it over to, with an address where you're going to stay in Haiti, send it over to the U.S. Embassy. And this is for Americans, or any embassy where you're at. Send it to the embassy, and then you get a paperwork, some email, something that authorizes you then to enter the country, and you have to provide it to the airline, and then you can fly back to Haiti, right? Because there are a lot of airlines are flying to Haiti, technically empty, okay? Technically they're empty, but actually you can still buy tickets and fly in, but technically they're supposed to be empty, and then fly into the country, right? And then, so that was the policy for, and this is for Haitian nationals, right? Not for someone else who just has another different passport. You got to have a Haitian passport here, right? But then shortly after, the Prime Minister Diouf, came out the very next morning, was like, yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what the Foreign Minister talking about. Listen, and he said, quote, I quote, he said, any airline is responsible for taking on board any passenger holding a travel reservation. No prior government authorization is required to board a flight to Haiti. This is what he said, right? Now, he's obviously responding to specifically the Foreign Affairs Minister, who was talking specifically about Haitian nationals, right? And so it's not clear what Diouf is saying here. It's not clear if he's talking about specifically Haitian nationals, like any Haitian national can come in, doesn't need just come back, right? Or if he's saying anyone, if he's saying anyone with any other passport can come to Haiti. So there's a lot of ambiguity in that statement that he said, right? And so as it stands right now, if someone comes to me and asks me, hey, are the airports open? Can I fly back to Haiti? I'm not flying back to Haiti just yet, right? For the simple fact it's not clear because I'm a Haitian. I'm missing one document. A lot of folks got on me and harped on me for being lazy about this, and that I haven't gone through the process of getting my passport. I got everything else I need. I got my national ID card. Yeah, all my tax, driver's license. I got every legal document to function in Haiti, which as I have been for the past 4 years. I just don't have a Haitian passport because, and people ask me this, get on it. I'm like, why do I need it? Right. Right. On my US passport, it says I was born in Haiti, and that prevents me from having to pay the non-Haitian $15, whatever amount it is. Right. And honestly, as I expressed here many times on SeeJeanty, if I can avoid dealing with the bureaucracy of Haiti, the corrupt bureaucracy of Haiti, I avoid it, right? If I don't have a specific reason that I can see how something can benefit me, I don't partake in the corruption, right? And because I don't partake in the corruption, something that would take someone else who does like a few minutes because they give some money under the table or give money to the side or give money to a racket, it takes me weeks right? Because I go and I sit and I wait and the compite ba get signal, right? All that stuff that anyone who's dealt with Haitian bureaucracy understands what it really is. It's to inconvenience you so much that you have to participate in the corruption apparatus. I don't participate. And so understand when I say I don't see the benefit of spending days to get a passport. That's what I mean, right? But now that I've experienced this, that potentially I could be able to get back on a plane and get back to Haiti if I had my Haitian passport with certainty. Even though I don't want to say risk it, but take the experiment, right? But then potentially have to get back on the plane because not letting me in, So I see it, and I will make it a priority to waste precious days of my life dealing with the bureaucracy of Haiti. I get it. That's fine, right? But so that's kind of where we are. And by the way, last week we talked about this. There was a requirement talking about some insaneness that you'd have to they would hold on to your passport at customs for 2 weeks while you're supposed to be in quarantine. People would come and check on your house. So all that's been dropped. No surprise there. I'm like, how is Haiti going to enforce that? Always ask yourself something. Whenever you hear news, a lot of news I don't even report because you hear the government say something, right? And I got a news piece actually today we're going to talk about. That's hilarious. They say some very, just massively, you have to do it. I'm like, how are you going to, do you not know who you are? How are you going to enforce this? Because you're not going to be able to enforce this, right? And so that was one of those things that, we're not. First off, I know I'm not going to give my passport, but most Haitians who travel weren't going to give their passports to the Haitian customs. It's not going to happen. So I'm like, good luck enforcing that, right? And so it's been dropped, and so we don't have to even mention that anymore, right? That's not going to happen, right? So remember I made a big deal out of it last time. Like, I'm not going to Haiti. If I got to give Haitian customs my passport, that's insane. That's not going to happen. And so that's been dropped, rightfully so. And so that's where we are on that news cycle, right? And so as it stands right now, it seems as if for sure we're going to get total clarity by end of this week, right? They're saying end of June they want things to return back to normal, and as in flights. And a lot of preparations have been made. Every other day there's some aspect of the airport. Meetings are being held and things are happening. So we're very confident that by the end of this week we'll have clarity in terms of what is going to be required to get back to Haiti on a plane. Okay. Mrs. Grace follows up, Ms. Grace says, flights are going into Jamaica, but I'm South Florida. Okay, good to know. So you can, but Mrs. Grace, again, I want one more clarity question here. Can anyone, like non-Jamaican nationals, can anybody enter Jamaica right now? And what's the conditions? No conditions? You know how you have to show negative? You can just book a plane ticket, anybody, and go into Jamaica right now? Is that what it is? Curious to know. Very curious. I love having my Jamaican guests here. It's always interesting to know what our Jamaican counterparts are doing, for sure. Right. And so that's that news story. Appreciate it. Right. So the next news story, right? The next news story has to do with, right? Actually, before I jump on that, let's talk about deported Haitians, actually, because that is somewhat relevant, right? The Haitian Bahamas deported 75 Haitians back, and a big part of that, that, if you remember, maybe 2 weeks ago, I talked about how there was a massive disturbance happening at the Bahamas detention centers. A lot of Haitians who were sitting at the detention centers were violently pushing back of their detentions because of the fact that since I believe February and March, the Haitian government themselves weren't accepting deportees for quite some time. And so a lot of these Haitians who were supposed to have been sent out and back to Haiti were just sitting at the detention center. Detention center, of course, is not a fun place to be, right? It's the bare minimum of living conditions, right? It's very uncomfortable, very abusive in the sense that of other detention center detainees and the guards are very mentally. It's abuse. I'm not saying they're physically torturing these people, but it's an abusive environment, right? And so they're, being fed up and being in limbo. The worst part is not knowing when they would get out, right, and return back to normalcy. They lashed out. There was a big lashing out, and in fact, the detention was taken over for a while, right? And folks were trying to escape, stuff like that. And of course, I got on. I was very, very angry, talking about the situation, and of course, I had a Bahamian or two actually reach out to me, try to talk to me, try to give me some perspective, which I listen. I appreciate it, and listen, I even respond. I said, hey, listen, I get it. When Haiti becomes a functioning country again, God willing, it has to happen. Every day has a night. Every night has a day, right? The history of all society is just ups and downs, right? Haiti has to. It's a probability. There's always saying, stick a couple monkeys in a room long enough, they'll write Shakespeare, right? Eventually, enough politicians will be stuck in a room, right? And eventually, they'll actually start doing their jobs. Eventually, in the history, in 400 years, 500 years, that eventually has to happen for a period of years. It's kind of my hope for Haiti at this point. Right, because it's as we know, it's everything starts and ends with the politics of the country, right? And so if when Haiti ever does become good and functioning, right, on all levels, and to the point where the economy is booming and people are trying to come in to partake in that economy, right, and there's a lot of people, others, right? I get it, right? Haitian people are tribal in nature, and whenever there's an other, it's very easy to say, these other people aren't my people. They're not human beings, and we treat them less than. That's just, unfortunately, you look through it in every society. There's us and them, right? And I get that perspective. And I tell you what, as pro-Haiti as I am, I think I may, in a very risky, I wouldn't be surprised if I, for a time, harbored a belief like that, right? I could see myself saying, I'm pro-Haiti. What are all these? Let's see. I don't want to point out any of my Jamaican friends right here, right? But let's say Bahamians. Bahamians were coming. What's all these Bahamians doing here, right? Why are they here? Taking jobs from good earnest Haitians. Why are they here? They're coming in. They're not speaking Creole. They're speaking English, right? They're coming to our schools, right? They're not paying taxes. Get these Bahamians out of here. I get it. There's a bunch of Dominicans coming. Why are Dominicans in our country? They don't speak Creole. They speak Spanish. I don't understand. They don't respect our culture, right? Why are they here? Get them out of here. I get it. It's very easy. I can see myself very easily transitioning to that, right? But I wouldn't, because I get it. Folks are here trying to improve their lot, trying to improve themselves. All else equal, no one wants to leave their country. All else equal, folks would much prefer to stay in the place they are. All else equal, right? And in fact, if the quickest way for you to get a group of people out your country is to give them access, allow them to contribute to your economy. Because when they come here, you allow them to go to school, they educate your people, they create jobs, right? And one reason why the United States of America has been so successful has been because they've opened arms. Come, bring your poor, bring your weak. Come, and America has contributed tremendously because of their open policy, at least to other European peoples. We understand that America is not open to other peoples who are not European. So that's another conversation another day. Leave that alone. Right. But I would advocate that, right? Just as how Haiti was begun. Haiti begun. Dessalines said, hey, any Black person, any slave, any Black person who lands in Haiti is a Haitian citizen, right? Period. That's how we started this country. Period. If you're Black, come to our country. We'll welcome you. We'll give you resources. Now, obviously, Haiti has moved very far away from that. The 1987 Constitution basically made the Haitian diaspora non-citizens, right? Which is insane. And that's something that needs to be rectified. And we're going to talk about that in a moment when this Constitutional Assembly. We need to get back to that core principle of what makes Haiti great. We're a Black republic that needs to be open to other Black peoples, period, and especially our own peoples, right? right? But I get that. Going back to my original synopsis here, I get that. I get why the Bahamas will behave the way the Bahamas are behaving. It's natural, and potentially I would too. And so when the folks reached out to me, who are behaving, and we had these conversations about their perspective, what they're seeing, I said, listen. At the end of the day, I was going to stick around and argue. Hey, you can do what you want to do. It's your country. You're a sovereign country. If you want to wake up today and say, hey, everybody who's not of this particular nationality can get out the country, cool. You have the legal right to do so, right? You're a country. You can decide to do that. But just understand the implications of what that's going to mean, right? Because you have so many countries right now who are in a depreciating economies because of the fact that their economies, their people are aging, and one thing that immigrants bring, they bring a new energy, they bring in a desire to do things that people in that population aren't doing in terms of new businesses and new ventures. There is a revitalization of economies and regions that happen because of immigration, right? That, take it from me as an economist, it's real, right? But in any case, so the Bahamas, again, 75 Haitians were repatriated back to Haiti. A lot of these Haitians were actually, a lot of them were requesting to get back because, again, they were stuck in limbo. And as usual, these Haitians are going to be quarantined. I don't know much details about where they're quarantined or how they're quarantined. There isn't much information on that, to be quite honest with you. But that's supposed to happen, right? And so we'll take the Haitian government's word that it's happening, right? And from the audio, video, a little bit of a video that I did see on the matter, they're basically being held out of office, right? It's basically an office. They take them on a bus to some office facility, and they stick them. They put some beds on the floor, and then say, "Good luck. We'll see you in 2 weeks." Right? That's what I've seen. I haven't seen anything else different. If you guys have information you'd like to share with me, do provide that DM. But from all my sources, that's what I'm hearing. When these folks are repatriated and are on their 2-week quarantine here in Haiti, right? So that's that news story. Let's take a look and see what folks are saying. Kenal David says, "Hey, looks like you can book Spirit's airline for early as this coming Tuesday." That's right, Kenal. Again, technically speaking, those flights are really supposed to be for Haitian nationals, right? There has not been an official statement from the government saying anyone can come, just to be clear. So just because you're seeing it doesn't mean you won't have trouble. You won't have problems at customs in Haiti. Okay. I'm waiting for the official word in clear français, ou that I translate to English. That tells me anybody can come into the country, right? And that's what I'm waiting for. Okay. Mrs. Grace says, so for Jamaica, she says, yes, anyone can go. We are low on COVID-19. It's usually people coming in and carrying it. So if I went back, I would just quarantine myself because our home has a facility to do that. Just be safe. Ms. Grace follows up and says, you have to tell them where you're going to be, just to be on the safer side. Mrs. Grace follows up, says, I think a lot of people are going back to their homeland, especially with what's happening in America right now. All right. Thanks for that, Mrs. Grace. It's a carte blanche. You can go back to Jamaica right now. Okay. Good to know. Again, I certainly, Haiti should be very near following that officially. So we'll see. Negma Wong says, the thing is, a lot of Haitians be doing jobs in these people won't even be doing in their countries. It's true, right? And so a lot of folks are saying, oh, you're taking jobs away from Bahamians, blah, blah, blah. But they're doing jobs you got your Bahamians to want to do. And do it harder and more productively than the people in your countries would, right? So, but again, tribalism is a thing, and that's, for human beings, we always go to, racially where we are, right? And then on the flip side, we can't be mad when it happens to your people, right? When Bahamians are in America and they get abused, right? What do you say then, right? But in any case, I mean, that's what, and it happened, by the way. It happened. Remember when the Hurricane Matthew hit, Trump said, no, we don't want no freaking Bahamians here. Nah, stay where you're at. I mean, Trump literally, there was a plane of Bahamians who were supposed to fly to America. And Trump was like, nah, we don't need no stinking black Bahamians in my country. Nah, stay where you're at. And I just looked at y'all. I just looked at Bahamians like, That how's that taste? how does that taste? Right? How does your own medicine taste? Right? It doesn't feel too good, does it? In any case, unless I piss off any more Bahamians, let me stop. Let me move on. So David Bassett, it's sharing it. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right. So let's move on. Next news story has to do with King Moise. Next news story has to do with King Moise. In fact, let me change my order of my notes here because I want to talk about the Constitutional Assembly because this is something King Moise is pushing very aggressively. So let's actually tack that on and put that a little bit sooner here in that. Okay, there we go. Just reorganize my notes there. So King Moise. King Moise. Good. First and foremost, for folks who are new, why do I call President Jovenel Moise King Moise? For those who don't know, King Moise is a king because he's ruling by decree right now. He's ruling by decree, just like a king would, right? Elections weren't able to be held last year. There were supposed to be elections last year. The paylock was happening. We get it, like this contextually, we get it, right? A lot of opposition. The opposition themselves, the political opposition themselves, said first off a lot of them said they would not participate in any elections that so long as Jovenel was in power. And secondly, a lot of opposition were spending money to get protesters, rioters. A lot of folks were protesting because of legitimate grievances, but a lot of the more violent protests were being paid by a lot of the opposition. Right? This is sort of everyone in Haiti understands it happens. For a while, I didn't necessarily ever phrase it that way, but the more I have conversations with folks, reputable folks who are very close to people at that level, it's to the point where it's effectively verified. A lot of folks are paying other folks to do very heinous things and usurp a lot of the larger, more valid protests. Right. So, in any case, folks were out. Paylock was happening. Nothing was moving up and down the country. I mean, it was bad. Roadblocks. For a long time, for months. This spread on for at least 2-3 months, off and on, by the way, off and on. So yeah, there wasn't going to be no protests happening. And additionally, there was a spike of gang violence in a lot of different places, right? So there was going to be no elections able to be held in that sort of climate. And because of that, again, opposition really forced the hand on that. Again, a lot of opposition, I can tell you, a lot of the opposition aren't very democratic, right? They're violently not democratic. Right? Especially when you're hearing stuff like right now, a lot of them want the guy out 2021, despite the fact the Constitution is pretty damn ambiguous. I went to a specific article in the Constitution that talks about term limits. I'm kind of going on a tangent here, by the way, a little bit of a tangent. It talks about the term limits, and it's pretty ambiguous, right? It's pretty ambiguous about when the mandate starts and when the elections. It says when after elections are done. The president has 5 years. Now, obviously, I certainly wish that particular article was a little more clear, right? And any constitutional revisions should make it more clear, right? But the fact that we had elections, that the reality is, we had a second election, right, with our own money that happened, and that was done specifically to appease a lot of the opposition, and even that wasn't enough, right? But yet a lot of opposition is now trying to blanket over that which happened, right? And again, for those who don't understand this tangent, there's a massive debate going on right now in Haiti of when exactly King Moise's mandate ends. A lot of folks are saying it ends in 2021 because the official start date should have been in 2016, even though he couldn't because a lot of opposition refused to accept that first election. It had to be a second election. And that wrapped up towards the end of 2016. And so King Moise was able to start his term in 2017 officially. You go to Wikipedia right now, his term started in 2017. Now, 2017 plus 5 is what? 2022, right? But of course, a lot of folks would say, no, it's not about when he started. We have windows of presidencies, right? And his window of presidency was from the end of Martelly's presidency. So it should have been 2015. That doesn't make any sense. And no country in the world operates like that. What are you talking about? But anyways, that's opposition. and that's where we're at right now. That's a little tangent. Just wanted to, let me bring it back. So King Moise in general, we're talking about King Moise, his history, right? Why he's a king, right? And so it's important to understand that when the elections couldn't happen, and we're talking about the elections here just last year, 2019, couldn't happen constitutionally, he is able to rule by decree until new elections are held, right? And so that's why, what do we mean, right? Right now, he is a king, an emperor, okay? Whatever he says is all. If he wants to wake up tomorrow and write that, you know what, everyone needs to wear a yellow hat or you're going to jail, he can do that. King Moise is a king. He is a king, okay? I can't stress that enough. He is, I don't want to use dictator as a guy who decides to extend his limits, right? But in effect, he's a dictator with a mandate. Until 2022, he can dictate to the country whatever he wants. Okay, I just want to be clear. That's where we're at right now. In 2020, in Haiti, right, we have a king. I'm not being hyperbolic. We have a king. Okay, all right. Now we're clear. Everyone's on the same page. All right. Okay, let's move on. So King Moise has found his pen. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, for the first few months, he's like, man, where is my pen? Where is that? They say I'm a king. I have decrees. I can write anything I want. Where is my pen? He's found it. Here's my pen, and he's going ham on new decrees, like it's like his ink's gonna run out, right? And he's only getting started. I feel like he's gonna find another pen, and he's gonna keep on going. So one of his most recent ones that I actually liked, his recent decrees I actually liked, was what I talked about 2 weeks ago, relating to the real estate. Well, it was real estate rentals. He kind of revamped. That wasn't part of the real estate law. A lot of protections for how renters behave. He added that right to the get out of here, fly. He added to the law, right? Right, and a big part too of the law that was updated, right? A big part of the law that was updated also had to do with just in general the commercial code. Also, didn't really identify. The commercial code really didn't integrate the rentals as a contract, right? And so that was also updated by his decree. So I'm all for that. Anything that actually adds to the validity of doing commerce and fortifies it legally, I'm all for, right? That's what the parliament should be doing anyways, right? There's a reason why PayPal is in Haiti, because our commerce code doesn't, number one, provide enough protections for international companies like PayPal, number one. And number two, of course, our courts are totally not functional, right? That's something that needs to be worked on too. But in any case, we're going to talk about that, right? In any case, I'm all for that first important part, which is making sure the laws are updated to international standards. So that's great, right? But now he's doing other things that needs to be talked about, right? So King Moise, let's finally get into it. King Moise says that, number one, starting October 16, anyone on the territory who was found without their national ID card, not their driver's license, national ID card, will be fined 5% of their monthly income and wage. And for most people, right, given the minimum, that means the bottom line is about 600 good for most Haitians. And of course, anyone who's making more money will be charged at that 5% of their monthly income wage, right? And also part of this, they said, hey, by the way, driver's license doesn't count as national ID. Your passport doesn't count national ID. The only thing that counts national ID for Haitians on the territory is your ONI card, your basically your voter's card, your national identification card. The same identification card that's been causing tremendous issues in the country because we had an old one that was signed by decree under Maitali, and for one reason or another, the contract was ruled inappropriate, right? And everyone in the country has had to scramble to get a new one, right? Because it's Haiti. Why not? After 10 years, we're going to say, hey, every national ID card you have, isn't functional. We need you to go get new ones, right? And that's where we are right now with that decree, right? Bear in mind, we're going to get into this. Bear in mind, over 3 million Haitians don't have birth certificates. Why is that important? To get a national ID card, you need to have a birth certificate, right? Or something from the National Archive saying that you're registered, right? And if 3 million Haitians on the territory don't have birth certificates, how exactly do you get a national ID? And by the way, this quote, this 3 million that I've quoted, this comes from the director of the National Archive, right? This is the institution that's in charge of registering population. They're saying 3 million people don't have birth certificates. I'm gonna say it again. I mean, Haiti has, we're pushing 12 million people on the island right now. We're pushing officially 11 million. At that 11 million, 3 million do not have birth certificates. All right. And of course, you're wondering, how's that possible in 2020? How's that possible, SeeJeanty? Again, a lot of rural births happen, right? Rural births still a thing. And a lot of rural births, home births, people don't have birth certificates, right? 3 million, right? Over the years, right? Incredible. But yet, the directive is if you don't have a national ID, starting October 16, right? You're illegally being a citizen of the country, right? And by the way, part of this decree too, for those who do get registered on the National Archive. So imagine if you had a child born starting October 16, right? When they go register, they bring their child, their birth certificate to the National Archive. They'll get a new National Archive document that actually has a permanent ONI national ID number, which, by the way, is actually pretty good because the way it existed up until today, when this thing kicks in, technically speaking, you don't get those in America will understand Social Security number, right? In America, as soon as you're born, you get a Social Security number. In Haiti, it doesn't work that way. Technically, you don't get an identification number until you're about 16, 18, right? That's when you get a NIF, is what the prior identity tax identification number was, right? So the fact that now apparently part of this new decree, every citizen is going to get one number that's going to stick with them, for the rest of their lives from birth, or at least from the time they're registered, their birth certificate is taken to the National Archive, and they're given a extract de archive. That's actually good, right? That's actually something that is necessary, and I'm happy he's doing it, right? Again, I'm not pro PHTK. I'm not against PHTK. I'm pro good governance. Just let's be clear. And the fact that he's doing that is a good thing. But the fact that he's requiring folks are penalties. I think this is one of the things that let's be very clear. I remember at the top of the hour I said there's some things that the government passes that they know they can't enforce. This isn't one of them. This they can't enforce this. Who are you to fine 3 million people in Haiti? 5% of their wage, because the Haitian government itself hasn't gotten its act together. Listen, here's what you need to do. You put an Audi center in certainly in every town, but as many small rural villages in a geometric spacing to allow to say, hey, every Haitian should only be 10 miles away from an ONI center. ONI center is ONI, Office of Identification, basically, Office of National Identification, right? And every Haitian is only, let's say, so by rule, can only be 10 miles away from a center. And this way, when somebody's born or there's a change in status, right, then it's very easy for that person to go get their paperwork signed. This all should be digital, by the way. And that is how you facilitate proper registration, proper use of national ID numbers. You facilitate and encourage its behavior from being done, right? You facilitate and encourage its behavior from being done. Have to bear with me here. Got to reboot let me reboot the Instagram Live, right? So that's how you do it, right? But the way that's currently being done isn't a way that is sustainable in any sense, right? There we go. Let me add that title. Restart that live on Instagram. Every hour you got to redo this. Very, very painstaking here on Instagram. I remember the good old days. We go 3-4 hours on this thing and it not even be a big deal. Remember the good old days, right? And so that's where we are right now with the first two of King Moise's policy decrees. Also, he signed foreigners must go. In effect, he stated that Haiti's gonna start enforcing the proof of legal status, and so any diplomat, you have to go to the foreign minister, get your documentation recertified, relooked at, reanalyzed, right? And anyone who's on the territory who doesn't have permis séjour, for example, all that can't show that you've been in the country for 3 months, that's going to start being really enforced. Apparently, that wasn't really being enforced because it's Haiti and nothing's ever enforced, but that's really going to start being enforced now. Apparently, that's going to be a priority for a few weeks, until it's forgotten. But in any case, we'll see how long this lasts, right? And of course, another decree, which is an important decree, has to do with personal data protection, saying that any data collected in any private or personal bureau has to be reasonable, protected, and then destroyed after the amount of time it's needed relevantly for whatever operation or whatever thing is being done. See, common sense, regulation, I can say that I don't have too big issues with, right? But it's other issues, it's other decrees, such as the one we just talked about, relating to national ID. And you're saying Haitians have to have national ID, but yet 3 million don't have a birth certificate. How does that work? How do you issue a rule like that, but then not also then put resources in place to help facilitate people, right? Because understand something. Right now, today, the ONI, National Office Identification, this is where you go get your identification card. They can only produce per year 1.4 million cards, right? And that's if there's no pay lock, they're operating at 100% capacity. They can produce 1.4 million ID cards a year. Okay, 2 million. There's been estimate 2 million cards have been produced, right, so far. I'm talking about the new ID cards that King Moise is saying needs to be provided, right? So 2 million have been provided. 1.4 million can be produced per year, right? So that means at best, over in a year, by the end of this year, you're looking at 3.4 million, maybe 4 million national ID cards, right? Okay. Right? So imagine if everyone in Haiti said, okay, well, we're going to try to, we're going to be law-abiding citizens. We're going to go and get our cards right now. I mean, it's pandemonium. It's pandemonium because you have over, what is that? You take three, what did I say? Let's say 4 million. Let's be real conservative here. 4 million already have their cards. Remember, 3 million can't even get their cards because they're not birth certificates. So that leaves what? That's 7 minus 11. And then can carry the 1. That's about 4 to 5 million people who would be trying to get their ID cards but can't because there is no capacity for it to get it. Right? That's a problem. That's a problem. Right? That's where we are with that news story. Right. So let's pause for a second. Let's see what folks are saying. Take a look at IG. Let's see. Are your lips on purpose? Slightly distracting when you're speaking on such important topics. I know it is. What is Instagram? And I do different filters. If you want a non-big lip version of what I'm talking about, please go to YouTube, Facebook, YouTube SeeJeanty or Facebook SeeJeanty. Okay. I kind of want to change it up on Instagram. It makes me smile. Right. So that's that comment. Thanks for that question and feedback. Right. Let's look back. Let's see what folks are saying here on YouTube chat. What folks are saying. Let's see. We see Negmaron saying the thing is that a lot of Haitians. Yeah, we read that already. FC says, only positivity, Chris. I'm trying. It's hard. Densetsu says, yes, I am. I currently am. Yep. David Bassett, even though I'm stuck here stateside because of COVID, but I do reside in Haiti, correct. Judy Ducaltel says, King Moise, that's right. That's his name. That's who he is. FC killing us. I mean, it's true. He's a king. So, bro, King Moise. Yeah, that's what he is, right? James Pierre follows up, says, he is a king. This your boy from New York City. Holla. Hey, man. Good to see you, James. Good to have you. James Pierre Lewis looks familiar. Looks like that one YouTube personality that does funny videos. I don't know. It's probably not him. But anyways, in any case, James, good to see you. We're here every Sunday, 11 a.m. Hope to see you again. Our comments are read live on air. Appreciate you. Appreciate your feedback. Our commentary, your perspective. Judy says, Haiti needs real progressive leaders. There's a lot of work to be done, but it can be done. I certainly agree. And Narcisse says, those are good things, right? Some of the things I mentioned. Richard S. says, would that make it harder for someone to be born in the U.S. to travel once the lockdown slows? No, I think no matter what, if someone was born in Haiti, born in the U.S. to travel, you'd be on a tourist visa technically, right? And so as a tourist visa, you only have 3 months to be in the country. It doesn't change anything for you. Now, certainly what it does, though, because a lot of folks were telling me, oh, well, because, folks were getting passports from the Haitian embassy in D.C., Washington, D.C., and a lot of folks were sort of assuming that, oh, I have a passport, I'm legal, right? I can function in Haiti. But that wasn't true, because even then I was telling folks, I was saying, to function in the country, you need something called a NIF, right? And that's basically your tax identification number, and that's what you need really, because really to function in the country is something called certificate d'impôt, which is it shows that you're current tax wise. A lot of things that you're going to try to do in the country, when the first thing they ask is, hey, show that you paid your annual taxes, right? And to be able to do that, you get a NIF. To get a NIF, you basically need to show that you're a Haitian national. And the way you show that you're a Haitian national is you give a birth certificate, right? And or national archive, extract de national archive, which needs a birth certificate, right? And now to get that birth certificate, the law in 2012 was changed to say, hey, if you're a Haitian person, like if your mom's Haitian, your dad's Haitian, doesn't matter where you're born, you're Haitian, right? And so, but that's where it stops, because that law doesn't give any way to move forward, right? There is no implementation, right? So logically, you should be able to say, okay, well, if that's the case, then I should go to the National Archive. They're the ones that give that real important document that allows you to get your tax identification number. You go to National Archive, you show your birth certificate. Doesn't matter where it comes from, if it's American, whatever. But then you show your parents' birth certificate, right? And your parents' name will be on your birth certificate. And that should be enough. It should be as simple as that. You walk in, show that. Maybe they take a day or two to kind of verify, whatever, validate, whatever. And then you walk out with your extrait d'archive, and then you go over to the tax office, you get your tax ID number, and now you're a citizen. Now you're a fully functioning citizen of Haiti, because you can do everything administratively through the bureaucracy because you have those artifacts, right? But as it stands right now, if you weren't born in the country, and even though you have Haitian parents, even though legally you are supposed to be, a Haitian national, be able to function, there is no way to exercise that right. There is no way to do it legally anyways, right? And that's a problem. And that's something that Parliament should have enacted. In fact, there's legislation I know of right now that's sitting and never been voted on. And that's certainly, if King Moise wants to show that, again, I always talked about this, Bob. I always said, we will know who Jovenel Moise is right now. Like right now is when we'll see who he is, right? Because the Parliament has never done its job. Instead of doing its job, because even though we have a parliamentary constitution, meaning all power resides in the Parliament, doesn't matter who is the president. The president is just a figurehead. It's just really a foreign. He's a more of a what's that word I'm looking for? He's a more of like an ambassador for foreign affairs, to be quite honest with you. And of course, he signs into law things. But the prime minister, who is directly reported by or reports to almost daily to the Parliament, is who really gets the pressure and runs things. He's the one that's head of the cabinet, for example, right? Instead of doing their jobs and voting laws in and moving the country forward, they voy caca, as the expression goes, and says everything is it can't move forward because of a president, which is nonsense, right? And so now that King Moise doesn't have a parliament that doesn't want to do his job, that just wants to be paid. Part of the parliament, by the way, is our Haitian parliament is the highest paid parliament in the entire Caribbean. FYI, when you count all their benefits, their fringe benefits, all those things, they're the highest paid in all the Caribbean, which is insane, right? Even though we're the poorest nation, right? And, the parliament's the highest paid, so they do no work. They sit, they blame the president for every problem of the ills of the government of the country, even though the Constitution gives them all power to move forward. It's insane. It's madness. It's insane. But anyway, so my point is, we will finally see who King Moise is, Jovenel Moise, when he becomes king. He's a king right now, and so we're starting to see laws being passed, and so far, more of them are actually for progression and for benefit than not, right? And so for now, we'll see how far his pen goes. But for now, I am just watching cautiously optimistic. Believe it or not, again, I want to be clear. I'm not for Pièce I'm not against Pièce. I'm for good governance. I'm for things that are going to move the country forward. And so we'll see as his pen, I think he's just warming up his pen now, how things are going to go. Let's see what folks are saying in the chat. We said Richard S. asking, would that make it harder? Okay, I already answered that. Ernest Nicole says, could you talk about the banking industry? We're going to be talking about that. Densu says, what's the best bank in Haiti? How is it easy to get bank transfers, international transfers, and how to buy Bitcoin? And so the best bank in Haiti, there isn't necessarily a best bank. They're all the same. They're all for the same service, right? And so whichever is nearest you go and you open a bank account. There isn't necessarily a best bank, right? International wire transfers are the same. The fees are the same. It doesn't really. There's no. I mean, there's certain ones that have more bank branches, right? And Soji Bank, I think, is the largest. Unibank is very close. A very close second. And Soji Bank is a little more connected technologically. Their app's a little more functional, right? But again, they all have the same service. And as for Bitcoin, I couldn't help you with that. I don't. Haiti barely has enough infrastructure to allow Facebook and WhatsApp to function. And so Bitcoin is a fantasy of a lot of tech people who think they can just port ideas into the country without ever being in the country and seeing how the country is. I don't have a very high opinion of folks who mention Bitcoin. I'm sorry. Again, most of those people I've found have never been to Haiti and don't know the realities of the country, because Bitcoin takes a lot of infrastructure legally and technologically. Because Haiti doesn't have electricity for the most part. Most Haitians don't live without electricity. Most Haitians live without internet. They just have just enough to make phone calls and a few channels of WhatsApp that they listen to, and that's it, right? The vast majority, we're very far away from a Bitcoin reality, and that's my 2 cents on that, right? Gangster LLC says, keep it up. Love what I'm doing. Can't wait to get back to Haiti in late July. Absolutely. Certainly agree with you. You and me both, my friend. Thank you so much. Peter J. Tenna says, I think the new decree has passed is a good thing. It'll force people to get their documents ordered. We'll see. Something can only be good if it's enforceable, right? Otherwise, in my opinion, it hurts the institution more than it helps, right? Parliament should get paid by the amount of bills they pass. Neg my own for president. That's a decree I'm looking forward to seeing. I love that, right? Densu came in late. Don't worry. This is recorded. So whatever you missed out on, feel free. You can rewind it once we're off air, right? Isidore Alex says, I have been trying to acquire Haitian business license online, but it's been crazy to think. But I was crazy to think I would be done online. Exactly. Yeah, that's you are crazy, my friend. Haiti doesn't work like that. You have to come to the country and do it physically, number one. And if you're in a situation where you can't come and do it physically, I'd say stop what you're doing and do not do business in Haiti. I've talked about this many times on SeeJeanty, on other mediums, Haiti Business News. Haiti is a place, if you can't be here 100% of the time, or at the very least 80% of the time, your business is going to fail and you're not going to do well. And you're going to be just another horror story that people who executed their business plan very wrong go back and tell other Haitians why they weren't successful, right? And you're only hurting Haiti by thinking you can do it part-time. Haiti is not a part-time doing business place, right? You come, you set up your business, right? You're here, and I'm not necessarily saying leave your job. I'm not necessarily saying that, but there's ways to set up businesses here. For example, remote. We live in a world now where people can remotely live in the country, right? So with the remote job, then you're here physically, and then you can invest much easierly, if that's a word, time to get your business while you're having income. So that's one way to do it, right? But if you don't have a plan like that, an idea where, okay, how can I be here physically to help execute the business? Your business will fail, all right? And please don't come to Haiti. Folks, I understand when I say this, I say this tongue in cheek because my whole goal and spiel and mission is really to have more Haitians come back and invest and grow the job base. So trust me, I really want folks to come to Haiti, but I do not want folks to come to Haiti with ideas like, oh, I can just do things from a distance online. I'll be here for 1 month. I'll fly out for 2 months. I'll come back for a month. Haiti doesn't work like that. And if you think it does, you're in for a shock, right? The way you engage Haiti the right way, you take a year to 2 years, okay? You fly back and forth. You re-engage with the country. I don't care if you're a Haitian that grew up in Haiti. If you spend a couple years out, you've lost something. You lost that touch. You lost that connection. Haiti's about physical relationship, physical contact, physical connection, right? Re-engage with the country. Take a year and a half. Re-engage, re-network. Get your bearings. Connect with good lawyers. Connect with good accountants. Right. And after about a year or two, then execute, but you execute while you're here. And after about 3 to 4 years of physically being here, running your business, and your business is functioning, you have managers in place, you have a general manager in place, you have a bunch of different people you trust and know in place running your particular business, then and only then can you start to do 1 foot out. 1 foot out. Okay, maybe spend a month in, a month out. And even then, you still got to spend 1 month in, 1 month out, right? Because those same people you trust. You're not around. You see what I'm saying? People change. You see? And so it's very clear. Please, I'm begging you. If you have ideas of you think you can do business in Haiti from a distance, stop it. You're going to fail horribly. You're going to lose every penny. You're going to lose your shirt. Don't do it. I don't need any more people in the diaspora talking shit about how difficult it is in Haiti, because Haiti is actually very easy to do business. It's one of the easiest places. And on top of that, not only is it easy to do business, right? Okay, take out the government out of it, right? But once you have a business here, right, and you run it well, people will flock to you. People will come to you. People will appreciate you, right? And there's something to doing business in Haiti where if you open a business in America and you do well, you're dropping a bucket. You drop a little bucket in a bucket of water. It doesn't change a damn thing. But when you're successful in Haiti, man, you're changing lives. You're impacting. You can see it. The people who are working for you, the fact that they have opportunity that they wouldn't have before, right? They're having income. You're influencing. A lot of these folks have, they have kids, they have extended family that they're helping support, taking them to school. You're really changing your business. No matter what type of business it is, it's a social business because the impact you're able to provide, right? And so I do implore folks to really do business in Haiti, but if you're gonna do it from a distance, tant pis, stay where you are. Don't come. I'm begging you. We don't need another failure to muddy the waters about what it is to do business in the country, right? Let's keep asking questions. James Pierre says, doing great work. They certainly appreciate it. What makes King Moise king of the moment? I spent like 20 minutes talking about it then, so I'm not going to go back into it. Once this episode runs, you can rewatch it, right? Rewatch the section where I talk about it in length. I spent almost 20 minutes talking about it. Adam Narciss says, that's with any business, any country. Certainly agree, right? Do I need a permit to operate in Haiti with a U.S. business license? Do I need a permit to operate? Where can I get at least? I don't quite understand your question. Well, do I need a permit to operate with a U.S. business license? I don't. So you can't. So SAs can be registered and be foreign owned essays, right? But I think that's what you're asking, right? But so I don't quite understand your question, to be honest with you. I don't understand your question. Johnny Celestin, ruling by decree is an exception and not good governance. Making laws by decrees goes against democratic principles. There is an unconstitutional government, PM and cabinet, that is passing decrees which they claim override previous laws that were passed by Parliament. Nothing good can come from it. Johnny Celestin, with that feedback, that commentary. Johnny Celestin has a show on Facebook that when I'm done here, I immediately go to it because he starts around like 2ish. Ooh, actually, give me 1 second. My battery's about to die. Y'all bear with me. Okay, it's working. Okay, it's charging. I'll have to run and see what's going on behind my desk here, but it's charging. Oh, it's close. Oof, that would have been nasty. So Johnny Celestin, Le Mojo Show. It's called Le Mojo Show. It's focused on Haitian diaspora issues, Haitian issues in America. Really good show, co-hosted by Mona Lisa Farah. I highly recommend that show, run by Johnny Celestin. Johnny Celestin also has been a guest on SeeJeanty, someone who has a very direct background with Haitian bureaucratic state. Actually was a consultant for the prime minister for a time. So certainly value Johnny's perspective and what he adds to the conversation here. And to run it back, basically saying it's an exception, it's not good governance. There is a question on whether or not these laws really do override actual laws. And that's there's some gray area there for sure. And especially when you look at understand that I think probably the real gray area, as far as I understand it, is that there can be no parliament, right? But the real shady element of how King Moise is running right now is the fact that his prime minister was never ratified, right? He doesn't have a ratified prime minister. And so it would be, I think the Constitution assumes that if there isn't a parliament, at least there would be a ratified prime minister, and that cabinet would be functioning through a prior ratification, and thus truly illegal apparatus, despite not having a parliament. And of course, immediately there should be the number one priority needs to be elections, right? And the fact that, again, the prime minister was never ratified, and King Moise just said, "Hey, Juth is now a prime minister, and they're operating a government right now without a ratified prime minister from parliament." I don't understand necessarily why certain international bodies are allowing this to happen. Like the United Nations are just saying, "Okay, cool," right? And in fact, we haven't even gotten to the real meat and sauce and potatoes, which we're going to get into in a second, right? But that is kind of, where I'm just going to go behind what Johnny's saying here. And there is certainly a lot of questions as relates to how King Moise is running. And certainly a lot of things can be argued, rightly so, over that this is generally constitutional, right? And I'm not even in the meat and sauce and potatoes of constitutionality yet. I'm gonna like this conversation up to another level. Bear with me. But thanks for that comment, Johnny. Certainly appreciate it. James Pierre Lewis says, because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing as a president, that's what makes him a king. Because James is responding to Denshu. Thank you, appreciate it. And Denshu saying something about Bitcoin, which I'll just skip over because I don't want to waste time on nonsense. Johnny follows up, says, no, the government is saying that their decrees override existing laws, right? Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying, right? I certainly agree with that, right? I certainly agree that they're saying that, and I don't, whether or not it's true, that is debatable, right? I just give you one specific reason, for example, Johnny, why someone can legitimately argue whether or not any of this is allowed, right? He doesn't even have a functioning prime ministership and cabinet, right? Because his prime minister has never been ratified, right? For example, right? And I think he's arguing that because he's ruling by decree, he can thus ratify his own prime minister right now. I think that's what he's argued, and how the international body has allowed this to happen, right? But again, thanks for that, Johnny. Certainly appreciate it. All right, so let's move forward to the new meat and potatoes, because I haven't even got to the meat and potatoes of the thing. So let's just start hitting these news stories a little harder, right? First, the fact that, again, I just want to add a little comment, right? We don't have a functioning parliament right now. But most importantly, we don't even have a functioning court system, right? Since the budget was announced, we had an episode where we really went in detail about the budget, right? The courts have been on strike because of the fact that they are very dissatisfied with the amount of, or the lack of, funding support that King Moise budget for this fiscal period provided. In fact, they went down by a significant amount. Now, first off, a lot of things, they were on strike before, by the way. They were on strike before, but they got off strike. It's like earlier last year because of promises of certain, increases in salary, increases in budget to improve functioning, the functioning of the judiciary. All that was reneged. Right? And in fact, they have a smaller budget. In fact, their budget is equal to 0.8% of the entire budget of Haiti. 0.8%. Tremendously small, minuscule, right? And they find that unacceptable, and are currently fighting for that, right? And so right now they're having functioning going on 3 weeks now, have not been functioning, right? And so we're in quite a state of affairs with King Moise. Yeah, he's passing these decrees that on their face are helpful, right? Again, the constitutionality, the correctness of it, that can be argued, but just on the face value of what these could do for the legal environment, I think overall there's some benefit to some of it, right? But again, he's doing an environment where he doesn't have parliament, he doesn't have any legal courts either, and so it's just sort of it's baffling. In 2020, Haiti's in a situation where really it doesn't have a government. The international community is kind of closing their eyes and moving forward, right? But any case, I just want to add that little piece for folks to understand where we're at right now. There is a constitutional question. Now we get to the meat and potatoes of constitutionality. King Moise is moving forward with creating a constitutional assembly. The constitutional assembly is going to modify or potentially rewrite or draft a brand new constitution, right? So that's incredible, right? Because the Constitution is very clear on how the Constitution should be modified, and it's done in a way to avoid dictatorships. It's done in a way to avoid a Duvalier changing the laws to make him president for life, and then make his son then the president, again, basically a true king, right? And there's processes in place, processes that weren't able to be done, despite that. SeeJeanty was working very aggressively to do it the right way, but unfortunately could never get it to Parliament to be voted on, because the way it's supposed to work is the outgoing Parliament is supposed to present, debate, and ultimately vote on. Oh no, let me think about it. Vote on certain principles, certain changes to the Constitution, and then the incoming Parliament ratifies those changes, right? And those changes legitimately become law, right? So again, the outgoing says, okay, here's what we want, here's what the changes should be. They agree on what the changes should be, and then they leave, and then the incoming then ratifies those changes, right? And again, all it's done in a way to prevent a dictator from just imposing their will on certain constitutional things, right? So we understand the history and why that happens. And that's what the Constitution says, right? We have a very clear process in place. There's no ambiguity of how the Constitution can be modified, right? And the fact that King Moise is just saying, yeah, we're not going to do it that way. I'm creating a constitutional assembly. And by the way, the United Nations and a lot of world bodies or OAS, they're like, okay, whatever, right? Because their perspective is, hey, it doesn't work. The government, the Haitian government doesn't work the way it is. And so they themselves are interested in a more functional version of Haiti's government, because as it stands right now, it's a parliamentary constitution. Parliament refuses to do its job, right? Parliament, instead of understanding they can supersede the president and just literally work together to pass new laws, they don't do that. They sit and blame the president. I think I was just watching something on Tributar Lakai just a few days ago. They had some deputies on air, and they asked them one specific question. They said, "Hey, how can Parliament work together to pass laws? I mean, how can they be more, just despite what partisanship and what? How can you guys work together to do your jobs?" That was the question. You ready for the answer? There's two deputies here. They both answer, "Well, the president needs to come down and have his high horse and work with us." What are you talking about? And that's, before I lose my cool here, that's a very clear example of what I mean, where Parliament has the power to move the country forward, but every response is, "Oh, it's the president," which is insane. It's the word I'm looking for is duplicative, perhaps. There's a better word for it. Fraudulent is the best word, actually, I want to use. And it really insinuates, and this is why, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy having these conversations, informing, because too many Haitians don't really understand what type of government we have. Too many Haitians don't understand where the power really lies, and they can get away with, "Oh, it's the president," because so many of us don't understand that all power is in the parliament. But in any case, let's move forward. So the Constitutional Assembly is going to look over elements of the Constitution and change things. So the big thing is ignorant. Farrar Jackson, thank you. It's another good word. So the two big things he's expressed in the past, he wants it changed in the Constitution. The first has to do with, the big one has to do with his decrees. He wants presidents to be able to, if you issue a decree, even with the parliament, after the decree is issued, after 3 months, it becomes law, right? And the way it doesn't become law is by parliament voting against it. Parliament would literally have to actually, and I think my parliament actually may do that since they're so executive focused. But who knows? That might start a trend of them working together and actually doing their jobs. Who knows, right? But that's the first thing that he wants. He wants a decree that becomes law after 3 months. That's number one. And number two, he wants to change the election process to where right now we have a very funny structure, specifically related to the terms of senators, right? Because senators, the first time they run, they have 5 years a term, and the second time they run, don't quote me on this, somebody can help me out here. I think it's 4 years. The second time they run and win, and the last time they have either 2 or 3 years terms, right? And so all deputies and senators, they have basically every time they win an election, their term limits decrease. What that causes, in effect, causes that every other year is an election year in Haiti, right? Every other year is a year where certain senators whose seats or terms are expired are up for election, right? And so he wants to change it so it no matter what, whether the term limits are vacant, or whether or not certain senators or don't have a seat, right? Certain deputies don't have seats. No matter what, every 5 years elections are done. Period. Doesn't matter, right? And a big reason for that is, again, it's very chaotic. Election years. 6 years. Thank you, Ernest. 6 years. Yes, I think 6, 4, 3, or something like that. In any case, it's very chaotic, right? In election years, that's when you see upticks of violence, see upticks of corruption. That's when you upticks of just every, the country's basically during election years, the election periods in particular, the country shuts down. The country just shuts down, with every single actor from all angles are trying to get a piece of that pot, get a piece of that corruption pot. And so whatever they spend, they're trying to get at it, right? And so again, these two things, I'm going to say it. I don't disagree with the changes. I disagree with the process of which the changes are being done. There is no constitutionality of what he's doing. What he's doing is not constitutional. A sitting president cannot decide to open up a constitutional assembly to change the constitution of the country, period, point blank, right? And so to add to what Johnny was saying, we weren't even in the meat and sauce of him being unconstitutional. This is this is the crux of an executive doing things that are unconstitutional, right? But yet, as it stands right now in Haiti, there's only one body, there's only one entity that can stop or have any say in what King Moise is doing, and that is the international community through the United States, OAS, and the United Nations. That's it. King Moise answers to no one else except for the OAS, United Nations, and let's call it what it is, United States, right? Let's just call it what it is, right? And that's kind of where we are right now, where we have King Moise moving forward. International community is A-okay with it. And maybe that's it. That's where we are. King Moise promises that whatever he does, he's still going to leave his mandate. And what he's doing right now is really for the benefit of the country. He's saying that, what he's trying to do right now isn't even to benefit himself, right? It's to benefit the governance of the country. And so for the next president can have the right tools, right toolkit to actually move the country forward. Because the way it stands right now, a president is at the mercy of a parliament, and the parliament doesn't want to do its job, right? And that's his argument for having to force this forward. Do I agree with that? I agree with that in so much that I already told you that the Constitution as it stands is a parliamentary constitution. But I think that we really need to force Parliament to do its job and not give more power to the executive branch, no matter how pragmatic those powers are. And if we are going to do a change, it should be done by the spirit and by the rules described in the Constitution of the country, right? And if the Constitution is going to be changed, we need to do it per the way the Constitution says it can be changed. My 2 cents, right? Just my piece of it. Let's see what folks are saying here in the chats, right? 6 years. Thanks for the corrections, Ernest. Thank you for that. Juvie Lover. Thank you so much. Juvie Lover just gave me some monetary love there. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you, Juvie. And of course, this is going to be added to the war chest. Maybe $1, maybe $5, maybe $20, whatever it may be. Whatever is contributed add to the war chest. That war chest is used then to, once I'm back in the country again, to go to places like Jack Mail and go to places outside the Port-au-Prince. Because my episodes that are most appreciated, people hit me up the most, is when I go, for example, my Mara Ballet episode, when I go to Ish, whenever I'm out at Cali, those episodes get the most loving. And so I certainly want to produce more of it. But again, I have a film crew, not just me. I got to pay hotels, got to pay gas, got to pay food. And so whatever you add adds to the war chest so we can produce better content. So thank you, Juvie Lover. So appreciate it when add that to the war chest. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you again. Right. Johnny Sellison says, follows up. It's based on gets the most votes. The one with the most votes gets 6 years, first senator, and decreases respectively. Okay. So I was under a different impression. I was under the impression that it had to do with seniority and re-election, right? So there's no connection. And if that, I'd love to know if that's true for both chambers, right? If it's also true for the deputy chamber and also true for the senatorial chamber of Parliament of the Senate, right? So certainly would like to know that. But thanks for that clarity, Johnny. So appreciate that. Right. All right. So let's keep it pushing forward. All right. We got a couple other news stories to talk about here. Oh, I see some folks here in Instagram again for my big lips. I'm doing it just because why not? It's Instagram. They have filters. Why not? Give me a reason why I shouldn't. If it's distracting, by the way, you're more than welcome to go to YouTube, Facebook, or YouTube SeeJeanty or Facebook SeeJeanty and watch the undistracted stream. Okay. In the meantime, I'm enjoying my big lips. It brings a smile to my face, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Right. So Johnny Sellison says it's for senators, not deputies. Okay. So the senators have that specific behavior. Okay. Good to know. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. So education, right? Tea and Ash, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. 3 p.m. They're going to be doing educative programming And this is for, again, COVID. A lot of students can't go to school. And so going forward from Monday through Friday, this is something that's been talked about, that's going to be done, but officially it's happening. It's on air right now. And I think it's great, honestly. I think a lot of Haitians, this is something, honestly, it blows your mind. Like, this should have been something being done even before, because there's so many Haitians who can't read, who haven't had a chance to go to school. A lot of, the rest of the population is very high. A lot of them aren't given chances to go to school or get education. So many sections in rural communities, a lot of sections of the community don't have opportunities for education. And so this is something, honestly, we shouldn't have to wait to a crisis. We shouldn't have needed a crisis to implement this very common sense. In fact, we should have just a channel, like a secondary, because TNS is the national station. It's like a PBS kind of. We really should have a set channel in Haiti just for education. That's 24/7, because right now there's only 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Most people are working during that time, right? We should have one, especially that's from 6 p.m. to midnight, right? Where folks could learn, right, for free, and we can improve the educational educated capacity of Haiti, right? So that's certainly, common sense things that a functioning Haiti with the right leadership will understand they should do and should be doing. And maybe, hopefully, the one positive element of this COVID will be that, they'll see the results of this sort of style of providing resources to their people, and this will last. Let's keep our fingers crossed, right? Let's see if this can last. But that's certainly great news in the meantime for a lot of the students who aren't able to get to school right now. Ryan N, thank you so much. $1.99. $1.99. Helpful. Certainly appreciate it. Any amount helps. Thank you so much for that, Ryan. That's going to be added to the war chest. Thank you so much, sir. And we got Dark Lighter with $5. Thank you so much. She says, thank you for the really good civic explanations of Haiti. Thank you. No problem. Happy to be providing it. Thank you so much. It's going to be added to the war chest, as I said, and we will put that together so we can, when we're back in Haiti, the war chest is getting pretty healthy. I'm somewhere around $250 plus, which is really, it doesn't take much to be able to do a out of town shoot, to be quite honest with you. And that right there is just about 2 days that I can help fund. That will fund about 2 days worth of content in Jacmel or somewhere else out of the country, out of the city of Port-au-Prince. And so thank you guys for the past few weeks. You guys have really been, incredible in terms of what you guys have been providing. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So moving forward, international aid. Japan is providing 2.8 million USD for medical equipment, X-ray systems, CT scanners, ambulances. Is that how you say it? Ambulances, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And generators. So 2.8 million, so the government can purchase these things specific to COVID response. EU is providing Haiti humanitarian workers and medical supplies. Starting this week, 6/20, they're going to be getting some medical equipment and medical supplies, right? So that's very, very, very good. We're happy to see the international community has not forgotten Haiti. As always, we always question, large sums of money being given to the Haitian government. We always prefer a very close transparency, very close watching of where that money goes, how that money goes, because as the Haitian government has proven, they have not had to provide us a track record of them acting responsibly with money, right? But nonetheless, good news nonetheless. And even if half of that money gets to where it's supposed to, that would be a lot more money than was originally available and resources available, right? Oil shortages. We got to talk about that. Oil shortages. Another shortage has hit the country. It's been very difficult for a lot of people, even myself, my office, my operations in Haiti. Gas has been lucky for me. I'm someone I prepare, so I have gallons of backup gasoline, gallons of backup diesel in my offices, just specifically because this is a very common occurrence in Haiti. Every few months, even during good times, just randomly we're short on fuel, right? And so apparently they're saying that there's a mismatch on orders. A lot of distributors basically just place their orders too late. All right. And so things are supposed to come back to normal this week. There already some tankers were being delivered just a day or two ago, and things are supposed to come back to normal. There isn't anything structurally wrong. Simply just the timing was off, and also the international gas market is experiencing some difficulties in general because of the incredible deflation of prices, which has really put a lot of pressures on a lot of entities that were providing. A lot of them some of them have gone out of business, or at least slowed business down quite a bit. And so all those factors have sort of come together to cause Haiti to be where it's at with a shortage. But from all accounts, it should be a temporary shortage, right? So let's talk about BRH. BRH, the Central Bank of Haiti, had some interesting bit of news happening because of it, from it. First and foremost, they gave some figures, some interesting figures that need to be talked about. They gave transfer numbers. And we're talking about money transfers from Haiti, from abroad to Haiti. Officially, when you compare March 2020 to March 2019, they were down by 8.17%, which is surprisingly less than what I thought. I would have expected numbers closer to 20%, given COVID, given what's happening. But that's March, by the way, guys. March is when really things started to kick up in America. And I'm interested to see the April numbers. April numbers will come out next month. There's always a bit of a delay, about 2 or 3 months. So I'm interested to see March. Yeah, April numbers, because that's when a lot of jobs are being lost. That's when we saw millions of losses of jobs per week in America, in particular, and across the world. And so 8.7 was just March, when things were just starting. And so let's take a look and see what those April numbers are. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm certainly anticipating those numbers, right? Specifically, the trade deficit is down by 263 million, which kind of is good. But then when you really break out, because the net exports imports is a component of two parts. But when you look at the fact that exports, which is important for the growth of the economy, it was down by 12%, specifically 65 million USD. And this is the lowest level in 2 years. Lowest level in 2 years. Okay. That's a problem. It's very problematic, right? And not a good sign. Of course, as we already know, Haiti's looking at its trajectory of Haiti in terms of GDP growth is that it's going to be negative. We're looking at negative 4%, honestly. Officially, I think negative 6.3%, but it's going to be more. It's going to be negative 4%. And that's something, by the way, I was reporting negative 4% long before anyone else was, right? Long before. I want to go on record. You guys are new. Because back even earlier this year, they were talking about negative 1.2%. In fact, they're saying, actually, no, my bad. They were saying like a slight positive. They were saying, we'll get maybe 0.1% or some very small marginal number. I'm like, there's no way. And that would pay luck. There's no way, right? And then with COVID, once COVID hit, I knew for sure. Yeah, we're looking at for sure about negative 4%. And this is, by the way, last year we had a negative number, about negative 1.2 or so. This year it's going to be the lowest GDP growth since the earthquake, right? Since the earthquake, this is going to be the lowest GDP growth, right? Negative. I mean, the biggest shrinkage in GDP. Actually, let's use the right language. Since the earthquake, right? Not good. Haiti is a place just to keep up with population. We should be growing at around 2 to 3% per year, just to keep up population. If we were making 3% GDP growth, that is not good news. That's actually zero, because when you look at population, your GDP has to be growing at a rate much higher than your population rate growth to actually accrue wealth, to actually accrue per capita wealth, right? And we're not. We're far from that. Right? We're actually detracting and becoming much exponentially poorer per year, and that is problematic. But also why Haiti Biz News is here, so you guys get real, genuine, impactful information, right? But also hopefully encouragement, right? In the sense that you're needed. in the sense that what you being informed and then being able to impact Haiti the right way, it's needed because Haiti we're never going to get a Haiti that works, right? And so it's on us to be that change maker. It's on us to persevere and be successful because it's possible. It's possible, right? I'm proof of it. You know, I'm doing what I got to do in Haiti. My businesses, despite COVID, they're running. We're growing, right? We're hiring. We're doing different things, right? And so it can be done. Don't let anyone else tell you it can't be, but it has to be done the right way. It has to be done intelligently. It has to be done with you there physically. It has to be done in a way that you're looking internationally, you know, in terms of what you can do, right? Not just domestic. Okay, then let me try to import something, sell it. Nah, that's not going to give you real wealth, and that's not going to give the country wealth, right? Anyways, we talked about it many times. I'm sure somebody will rile me up at some point, and I'll get into my usual very passionate spiel of the type of businesses we should be having in Haiti. Outlawed and BRH also, very interestingly, outlawed money transfers for that were not in USD. So earlier in the week, they said, you know, any money transfer, and this is, by the way, this is how it should be, right? Around the world, and even per laws in Haiti, if you get a money transfer in dollars, you should get it back in dollars, right? But very few money transfers actually do that, right? They give it to you in good, and usually the exchange rate is not favorable for the person receiving it. For example, if the exchange rate is 111, they'll give them out to 109, for example, right? Which is not right, right? They keep a certain amount. And it's not that they don't have dollars, because that same person who gets it in good, if they needed dollars, they can just say, they'll take that same money and have to buy dollars with it. And of course, the rate that they buy the dollars with it is, again, much lower than, or much higher, than what it should be. So they get hit twice. They get hit when they're getting it, they get less good than they're supposed to. And then if they were to then turn around and they say, oh, I'm getting some things that I froze. That shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't have frozen on Facebook. I froze on Facebook. I hope that's not true. Not too sure how I can redo it. Let's see. You are live. Yeah, talk to me on Facebook. Let me know. It says Facebook is saying I am frozen. Hopefully I am not. Who else is on Facebook and talk to me? Talk to me. I guess somebody said I'm frozen. Talk to me. Let me know. How am I looking like on Facebook, right? I'll wait for more comments to come in, right? But so BRH came back and said they moved back from that and said, no, that's not what we meant. What we meant to say was, if you're receiving money into a USD account, right, then actually you should be getting money into your USD account, right? So if you get a money transfer in USD, then yeah, it should it needs to match the currency. But the thing is that we never needed guidance for that. We never needed legal guidance for that. That's how it works, right? If you do a bank transfer, right, the currency that comes in is the currency that's going to be matched in the account, period, right? And in fact, most banks won't even transfer if the bank account isn't equal to the currency in the first place, right? So again, I don't really quite understand that. It was just sort of, hey, the white cat is black, the white cat is white, right? It's sort of is a redundant rule, which was blatantly against what they were saying. Because the reality is, a lot of these money transfers, and by the way, let me know Facebook. I'm still waiting for somebody else on Facebook to tell me how am I looking. And Johnny said I'm frozen. Talk to me on Facebook. Facebook, talk to me. Let me know how am I looking on Facebook. A lot of money transfers. I have a few associates who run money transfer facilities. They're agents. When they go to their bank to get dollars, the bank themselves refuses to give them what they need, right? The bank themselves refuses to give them what they need. You see, they are limited by the bank themselves in terms of the amount of dollars they can get. And the bank, you can say, well, you can blame the bank, but that bank is limited into the amount of dollars they can give out to the public because of the central bank, BRH. BRH themselves are limiting the amount of dollars that banks can issue out to any entity, whether it's a money transfer or it's not, And so the fact that they can come out and say, you know what, no, we're going to start sanctioning money transfer for not doing USD. But it's because of the same policies that the central bank has issued on the territory in the first place, restricting dollars, as a way to sort of limit the decrease in decrease of the currency devaluation, right or wrong, right. And so that's kind of where we're at with that news story. By the way, I do want to mention, by the way, for those who are sending money transfers to Haiti, I want you guys to know that, this website right there, zoom.com, www.xoom.com is, really good. It's so basically from comfort from your home, you can, from that website, they have an app too. You can send money cheaply, like you can send $1,000 for just a few bucks, a month, right? Per transaction, for a few bucks per transaction. And, and the beauty of it too is they can pick it up at CAM or Unitransfer. That's who they partner with. But what's best about that is that you get a reduction if you actually transfer it to a bank account. So literally you can transfer it out of your bank account, because you can connect your bank if you're using the app, right? So you can withdraw it from your bank account and basically drop it in someone else's bank account, within 24 hours. And it's very cheap. Like, for example, you save, like, you can send like up to, I don't know, about 2,000, well, 14, yeah, about 1,400. You can send up to $1,400 for just $14. Just $14. You can send up to $1,400, which is competitive, right? But it's a lot cheaper than doing a bank wire transfer, and it's as quick, right? Because especially if you tell the person it's delivery, it's right away. They can deliver it that moment. They can pick it up at a Union CAM transfer, or if you're depositing a bank account within 24 hours, it will be in that person's bank account, right? Business days, right? Business days. So I really, a lot of folks don't know about Zoom, and that's very, very unfortunate. And so again, if you guys are using money transfers to Haiti, xoom.com. I put it in the post in the chat there. Okay. In other news. Oh, sorry. Watt Mini, thank you so much. Watt Mini, thank you so much. Appreciate it. It says our new Poly series are awesome. Thank you for the $5. Add it to the war chest. It's going to help tremendously with what we're trying to do here in terms of getting more content out in different places. So thank you so much. It is appreciated. Thank you. And of course, anyone else, I don't want to put anyone else on the spot, right? You don't have the few bucks to give. It's fine. Share the stream. It costs you nothing. Share the stream, and you help the stream tremendously. So share the stream. Either way will help us. Will help with the cause here. So next news story has with quarry closures. Montcabrit is reclosed. Literally, I was up in Montcabrit just in February on my way to Inch, both going and back. There was activity there. Let me tell you, activity, right? And in fact, so much so, I'm a little concerned about this news story because a lot of that area's economy is based off of the quarries that are there. But the reason why it was closed in 2018, there was some deaths. It was being mismanaged. There were some deaths, right? And additionally, there's other aspects, environmental issues that the quarries cause, as you can imagine. If anyone has ever been to Haiti and seen quarries at work, I mean, it's just massive sides of mountains that are just eaten into, right? These things cause, as when it rains, it causes basically landslides in effect. A lot of times, very dangerous, right, for the workers. And Montcabrit in particular is very interesting because there's very important electricity pylons. Because remember, that's where the hydro dam Pellegrini is, and a lot of the power lines come through there, and very close to where the major quarries are. And so for all those reasons, they were closed in January 2018, But of course, you know, it was enforced for a few days, a few weeks, and then the cops stopped coming around. And then when the cops stopped coming around, you know, the people are like, oh, maybe we can do a little work. By the way, Facebook, Instagram, it's about to run out. I'm not going to renew the Instagram. So if you're on Instagram and want to keep watching the show, go on Facebook, you know, SeeJeanty, or YouTube SeeJeanty, because we're about to wrap up here. About another news story or two to go. All right. Okay. Appreciate you. Instagram was about to be done here. And so so the query has reclosed, supposedly, and the Prime Minister, in fact, Jude, passed by and basically expressed that you know, they're going to try to keep it closed this time. We'll see how long that lasts, right? So again, important, you know, genuine economic business news just reported there, right? And but again, I have concerns. I want to go on record, by the way, minus the people aren't going to like me here, but minus the fact that Haiti really does need to aggressively reforest itself. I'm not much of an environmentalist. I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm much more for economic opportunity, exploiting our resources, but doing it in a way that is safe for the people exploiting the resource, and redistributive. Usually, you know, those rights are given to specific companies or entities that very often, in a lot of these countries like Haiti, you know, are able to make buku money and pay little in taxes, and most importantly, the taxes they do pay never really go to the people, never go to the education, never go to sanitation, never go to the places that can really help and assist the people in general, despite the massive wealth that's produced. And so my thing is more making sure that it's, you know, any of these exploitative land deals or, you know, deals, you know, that may, for example, bauxite was a very big, important resource that was exported out for a long time in Haiti. And by accounts, it's supposed to be still a very large reserves of bauxite, right? So, but yeah, it's, you know, that's kind of the news on that. I'm a firm believer that if things are done safely and respecting the environment, right? But my argument would never be, hey, we shouldn't do something because environmental implications. My idea is, let's try to do it as safe and aggressive as possible. And if something happens, you know, let's make sure we aggressively deal with the repercussions, right? So, but in any case, the more query is closed. Let's take a look at what the folks are saying. How do you do your daily living in Haiti? That's a weird question. I don't quite understand. You live, you know, I think an Angel might be new to the channel. You know, feel free and grab a lot of the content. You know, and I'm not sure what your perspective of Haiti is, but Haiti is a place. There's roads. You go to grocery stores. You do your business. You go to events. You go to restaurants. You know, it's a place with human beings there, and you can function. I don't quite understand that question. But in any case, digital library. The next news story, final news story of the day, has to do with digital library of Haiti. www.grill.net. I'm going to drop that link. I'm going to drop that link here. Drop that link there. Grill.net. You guys check that out. You know, for those who really want to make sure they're plugged into Haiti culturally. This is a website that has 156 Haitian authors, 317 ebooks, okay, 66 audiobooks, right, over 10 categories, right, and you can read it on any computer, any phone, any smartphone, tablet, and a lot of these books are a little older. They're in public domain. There's some more recent books there that have been authorized by the distribution company or the author, but most of these books are slightly older books, and you see what I mean when you get on that website. Right, let me highlight it here. Grill.net, right? Grill.net, right? But none. These are very, you know, again, a lot of these are in French, by the way. A lot of them in French. A few are in Creole as well. But again, these are in public domain, and it's an incredible opportunity for a lot of us who are stuck in the house right now and looking for free books. I didn't even mention that. Free, F-R-E-E, free books. And most importantly, I look at this from the perspective of this is an opportunity for Haitians living in Haiti a lot of them don't have access to libraries. There is no library near them. So this is an incredible opportunity for them to get access to literature that perhaps wouldn't have been available to them. So if you know anyone in Haiti who might benefit from this, again, pass on that www.griot.net has 156 Haitian authors, 317 ebooks, 66 audiobooks across 10 categories for free. You just need an electronic device to access the website. And I've tested it on my phone. I've tested it on my computer, my browser. Yeah, it operates pretty well. It's a pretty well designed site. And the Minister of Education has expressed that they're very satisfied with this site, and they are certainly hoping that they can get much more literature and out of the more other repositories of information available to the public in this sort of format. So certainly some great optimistic pieces of information. Nate Lassieur, big ups, brother. Good to see you. Hooked on Haiti. Go check out Hooked on Haiti page. Some really cool, great stuff happening on that page. Nate, good to see you today. Happy to see you, brother. Oh, and I think who asked me that question? I think I mixed. Yeah, Ernest asked me about SeeJeanty. No, I think SeeJeanty is great. I think it's SeeJeanty. Certainly, is a company I wish more entrepreneurs thought about doing. They assemble electronic equipment in the country and resell, which is great. I certainly wish it was pushed out a little more, but at the same time too, I think ideally this is where a government needs to step in. The government would say, okay, well, we're going to make sure that every student has a tablet, at least in their school. If that's they'll go home, at least in their school, so they can actually do things technologically speaking. And if we had a real government with real vision and real sense of prioritizing things, they should buy SeeJeanty for every student in Haiti right now having to work from home, right? Because a lot of them don't have computers, or a lot of them don't have good, phones or anything. So that should be something that, honestly, it's a made in Haiti product, right? It's assembled and it provides jobs to Haitians, right? Instead of just importing like Lenovo's or something, right? And so certainly a visionary set of leaders would do it that way. But I think SeeJeanty is fine. SeeJeanty is okay. I certainly look forward to one day highlighting them on SeeJeanty. I think the initiative, this is a digital company, by the way. The initiative is very, very intelligent, and the sort of initiatives that I support. Right. I mean, I'm not a big fan of importing, but technology is something you kind of have to import, right? We don't have. I'm very against importing agricultural products and clothes and a lot of things that we can produce domestically. Very much against it. I put 150% tariffs on these things if I was ever in a position of leadership. But certain things like technology, cars, things that we're very far away from producing, they should be zero. It should be almost 0% tariff. And those who are in a business who are importing technology, certainly, I think if you could then parlay that into assemblage, instead of just bringing the thing wholesale, and it can still make sense financially, by the way. It can make sense financially. In what sense? If you can buy these pieces cheaper than buying it already done, and then you just assemble it here in Haiti, which again, labor is relatively cheap compared to other places in the world, and then resell it exteriorly on top of that. If you can turn around and on top of that, assemble it here and then sell it to the world, that's even better. But you can certainly make a good amount of money selling it here in Haiti as well. So yeah, Ernest, I certainly do you know the price? They're relatively cheap too. They're not they're affordable. I can't tell you the exact price of them, but I do know they are priced reasonably, maybe $100 to $200, somewhere around there. They're pretty affordable, and they have different models. So relative to other computer devices that sell for much more, like most computer laptops sell for $300-400. Even most phones in Haiti will sell for $100 to $200. So the fact that they sell for about $100-200 and competitive with phones, I think it makes a lot of sense. And I certainly wish Haitian diaspora who are looking to help out their families in the country, if they could consider even buying a tab instead of just shipping something over, because again, you're when you do that, you're supporting Haitian jobs, right? So, but thanks for bringing that up, Ernest. Appreciate it. Is there a minimum wage in Haiti, Lucien? Yes, there is. There is a minimum wage in Haiti. Depends on the industry in question. Manufacturing, it's more. I think it's up to somewhere around 500 to 600 good a day. And more menial work, for example, a maid or someone working in your home, like it's as low as 380 good or something, 400 good. I don't have my minimum wage guide in front of me. I do have all that listed, but that's basically the minimum wage is set per day. It's per day, per 8-hour workday is what the minimum wage is set on, and that's by the way, just so you know, put that in dollars. It's basically, let's say for a factory worker at 500 good, about 500 good. When you factor in today's exchange rate right now is 111 good per dollar. So basically, minimum wage in Haiti is about $3 to $4 a day. FYI, just so you know, that's a term you can probably understand. About $3 to $4 a day, right? Let's see. Ed's asking some interesting questions that doesn't make contextual sense. So, but in any case, everyone else, I appreciate you. Right, I appreciate your comments here on SeeJeanty. Right, certainly appreciate the conversations we have here for sure. Right, we are an incredible community of folks who are contributing to the conversations of informing and educating, and I certainly appreciate the fact that so many of you guys come back every Sunday and engage and participate. I'm certainly happy we're seeing growth in our numbers. I remember a lot of you guys when you folks first started, it was like 10, 20, 10 folks per session, and we pushed 50. I saw at one point we spiked over to 50 when doing the live. So I'm very happy to see that. So we're going to keep pushing forward, keep working on doing the ROI, return on information, here on Haiti Biz News. I want to remind folks, those who may be new here, I saw there's a few new faces, few folks, a few of them brought in because of Mary. Remember, YouTube, SeeJeanty, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of other content here on the channel. Our focus here is really to empower the diaspora to be able to return, engage, and impact. And engaging, if it comes in many different ways. I can't tell how many times I've been to really nice resorts, really nice hotels, and I don't see a single Haitian. Right? I see people from Venezuela. I see people from the Dominican Republic. I see people from Belgium and and Denmark in these hotels enjoying our resources. Which again, I have nothing against it, but yet I see no Haitians whose ancestors fought for the land. I don't see them in the country because of, unfortunately, not understanding what they have. Right, unfortunately, listen to their parents. Don't go to Haiti. It's not safe. It's not safe. But yet, today in Haiti, today in Jamaica, today in Chicago, literally, we had a news story where we had 56 people shot, 9 dead over this weekend. Right, I'm gonna say it again. In Chicago today, 56 people were shot. I mean, these are mass murder or mass serial, these are numbers that anywhere in the world, anytime, should be making headlines, right? But in Chicago, it's just another day. 56 people, just another day in Chicago. 9 people dead, a 3-year-old child. In fact, there were 2 out of the 9 who were dead. 1 was a 3-year-old child. Okay, 2 of them was a 15 and 16-year-old girls just walking home, and a person just came out with a gun and shot them multiple times, and one of the shots were in the back. Right, so I'm getting into the details. It's important that I get into the details here, because when you hear things about Haiti not being safe, right, but yet things are happening in Chicago every day, every weekend. It's something that you're gonna have to quantify for yourselves to say, what do we mean when it's not safe, right? Because I've been living in the country for years. Knock on wood. You can hear me knock. Nothing's happened to me yet. right? In fact, I've seen incredible amounts of generosity from Haitian people in situations where I've been extremely vulnerable. For example, those who follow me on Instagram may know that I got into a car accident a few months ago where my car fell into a ditch, right? Very vulnerable situation, right? Coming from a conference. But yet, people went out their way, Haitians went out their way to help get my car out of the ditch and help me, right? They didn't have to, but they helped, right? So these are the stories, and this is one example of many other examples of stories where my experience in Haiti, for living in Haiti for years, has been one where it's been nothing but encouragement and assistance, constantly, right? And so I'm very, I can't encourage enough folks to re-engage with their country. Do it in a smart way. Do it in a way that makes sense, right? You don't want to go around and flashing cash in the middle of the street. Obviously, don't be brain dead, right? But just come in the country, enjoying our resources, enjoying the restaurants, enjoying the bars, having a good time. There's no reason why any Haitian diaspora should not be visiting their country and visiting their country in a consistent manner, right? Because when you come in and again, business isn't for everybody, right? It isn't. Even sometimes I wake up, I wonder if it's for me. Stressful days, hitting trying to meet payroll and a lot of the things that happen, negotiations, Even for me, I wonder, is business for me? So, but you can spend your money, right? And just spend it instead of. I look forward to the day when Haitian Flag Day is done in Haiti, right? Instead of us just throwing our flags up and I know Haitian, we know Haitian, hey, cool. Do it in Haiti. Because when you can go and you can party and you can do massive events in Haiti, you're really changing your country. You're really living up to what that flag is about, which is improving those conditions just by spending your money in the country where folks can be employed and we can really start pushing forward a working economic engine of growth just by you, the 80% of diaspora who are educated, who have much more income relative to the Haitians there, and who can really impact, right? So that's what the mission here is. So YouTube SeeJeanty, go subscribe to it, right? We're always at it. The podcast, don't forget about the podcast. We're dropping episodes every week. Last week, me and Mark had a really engaging conversation about police brutality, Black Lives Matter, and even colorism in Haiti. This was a very controversial episode. A lot of folks hit me up, a lot of comments on there, like, "Oh, you mean? I don't agree with you." So again, if you want to hear a potentially very divisive episode, no holds bar episode, head over to the podcast. It's on YouTube SeeJeanty, it's on Facebook SeeJeanty, but most importantly, it's on everything podcasting. It's on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. Anywhere you just type in the Haitian diaspora living in Haiti podcast. Type that in. You'll find Mapimpo Haiti. That's the official title. Mapimpo Haiti, the Haitian diaspora living in Haiti. You'll see that. So make sure to subscribe. Listen to it. We got some great episodes so far. And next week we have Marie from Life in Haiti. Oh my God, it's an incredible story. And in fact, usually our episodes are an hour, and her story was so compelling and gripping, I had to extend it to an hour and a half. I had to, right? I mean, she's so important. She's a deportee, lived incredible. I mean, her story is something. There's gonna be a movie made out of it. I tell you, right? She's only getting started. She's doing some incredible stuff in Haiti, and so I had the opportunity to be a part of the podcast. And so again, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, however you want to listen to it, and stay current. So even when I'm not here on Sundays, the content's still being produced, right? And of course, as always, those who provided today in terms of money, hey, appreciate it. Add it to the war chest. Thank you so much. But anyone and everyone, please share the podcast, especially those who participated in the conversation. Let your voice be heard, right? You contributed. This episode was as much your episode as my episode. So thank you so much for contributing. And again, what we talked about today, talked about a lot of things. We talked about the COVID numbers, 4,869 active cases, right? We talked about some policies related to how Haitians can return to the country. Expectations basically are, we don't know really. Even though right now you can look and you can see that you can book a flight to Haiti. Technically speaking, it's only for Haitian nationals, technically speaking. And if you're not a Haitian national, you're trying to go in the country and you book a flight into it, buyer beware, because you may not be allowed entry, right? You may not be allowed entry. We don't know for sure, but we're supposed to hear back by the end of the week, hopefully, about news on that. We gave deportation numbers. We updated you on King Moise. He's found his pen. He's writing decrees left and right, unconstitutionally per how we understand it, but he's doing it. The international community is giving him the green light. We talked about that. We talked about the Constitutional Assembly he's trying to organize. We talked about education. We talked about international aid. We talked about oil shortages. We talked about the BRH and their involvement in the money market. We talked about quarry closures, and we talked about the digital library of Haitian authors. So we had a very action-packed episode. And again, your contributions. We had a lot of sidebar conversations, which I'm sure you would want folks to know about. So make sure you share it so folks can know about it, right? And let me read a few last comments before I head out of here. Adam Narciss says, yeah, more people down in Chicago than Baghdad and Guantanamo and Honduras, but they still think Haiti is unsafe, right? So I agree with you. It's crazy, right? Shanamila says, agree. Always enjoy myself when I go to Haiti. Great stuff. David Bassett, thank you for what made a great show is you guys watching it, right? So thank you. And I can't wait to hear from Marie from Life and Angel. Trust me, you guys are in for a treat, believe me. All right, guys, so that's where we're going to end it. Another great episode in the books. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, those who were there from the very beginning to the very end of the episode. We'll be back next Sunday, 11 a.m. Until we're back at it again, guys, we'll be back at it again. Peace.